Hey guys, have you ever wanted to have a little more usability and functionality at the backside of your Jeep? Stick with me. Today we're going to install the EAG flip down table on the tailgate. I'm excited to get started, so stick with me and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, here's a look at the minimum set of tools you're going to need to complete the first part of the install. You're going to need a drill with an 11/32 metal cutting bit. You're going to need a 16mm wrench. You could also use an adjustable wrench here, of course. This is a 10mm socket. You could use a 10mm wrench, but this will make it a lot easier. And you're going to need the Nutsert tool, which is basically a bolt and a spacer in order to install these Nutserts. That's the minimum level of tools to get that part started. For the second phase of the install, you're going to need a 13mm wrench, a 13mm socket with a ratchet, and a 4mm Allen key. Now again, these are the minimum tools you're going to need to complete the task. Let me show you a couple tools that I suggest you have on hand to make this job a whole lot easier and faster. Okay, one of my favorite tools is my cordless DeWalt impact driver. I use this thing for everything from taking off lug nuts to putting up pictures in the house. If you don't have one of these, do yourself a favor and save up and get one. They are terrific. And again, you can see I've got a 3/8 socket adapter on here and a 4mm Allen driver. I've got a whole set of those and it sure makes things a lot faster. The next tool that I think is a must-have around the shop, and one that's not included in the kit, is a Nutsert installation tool. This comes with a bunch of different fittings. This happens to be a 6mm Nutsert that comes with the kit, so I put my 6mm mandrel in this thing, and you basically thread it on there, open it, thread it in there, push it into the sheet metal, and if I pull this, it's going to start to expand this base and bulge out just like any rivet and secure it into the sheet metal. This is a simple, inexpensive, well, fairly inexpensive tool purchased off Amazon. Again, it comes with multiple different sizes. I love it, man. I'm using it quite a bit. I'll stick a link down in the description to this tool, and do yourself a favor and pick one up. All right, as you probably saw from the instructions, there's a lot to be desired. There's not a lot of guidance as far as where to drill the holes. It just says, you know, put it in a spot where it's not going to interfere with the closing of the door. But I wanted to point out a couple problem areas you might run into. If you can see through the gap there, there's a doubler that runs right along. You can kind of see the little indents, I hope. Or what I did is I went real close, a little higher, almost too high, but it worked out. And the second thing to make note of is the sheet metal is pretty thin in most of these spots, but there's a couple areas along here. It's doubled. You can kind of use these little rivet holes to kind of see, but over here where you can see me drilling that hole, obviously because of the hinges, there's another doubler over here to make it a little stronger. So it's a little more stubborn to get that Nutsert through the hole, but I just wanted to point that out as I was doing this. Using a center punch, you can use a spring-loaded punch like I'm using, or just something sharp where you can tap. That way your drill drills exactly where you want it. If you don't, that drill bit's going to walk all around that metal. Also, I'll take a minute to show you what's on the inside of this thing. Obviously, that's really the only area that you have to worry about drilling. All the wires run through this little channel here, which is a good design. So once we get all the Nutserts installed, we can hand tighten all of the bolts. All right, now the two top screws are going to be installed with the rubber bumpers. What I like to do is use a level to get that, because the way the Jeep sits, it's not perfectly level, so use those slots to get that table as level as you can. All right, next we're going to use the remaining hardware with a spacer to install the actual table onto the bracket. So again, we're just going to insert the bolt from the outside through into the table. The tricky part is just you have to slide that little spacer kind of in between the table and the bracket that's holding it. And then we go ahead and repeat that on the other side. Our install of the EAG fold down table went pretty smooth. Overall, I'd give this an 8 out of 10 as far as the ease of install, the quality of hardware, and the overall usability of the table. Feels very strong and secure, especially with the included Nutserts. Alright, that concludes our install of the EAG fold down table. I hope it helped. I hope you liked the video. I enjoyed doing it. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We'll bring more of this content to you and more Jeep related products and installs. If you have any questions on the install or anything else, leave it in the comments down below. Every Friday we're going to get to those comments and answer as many questions as we can. Thanks again. We'll catch you next time.